All right, guys, I am back from YCS Sacramento. I competed in the Ultimate Time Wizard Tournament, and today I'm going to do a tournament recap and tournament report. I've been doing this ever since Indy last year. So I'm just going to go over the top 8 deck list, how the event ran, and then I'm going to do a tournament report. And this time I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm actually going to show you guys my deck list and go over some things that I would have liked and disliked. All right. So, yeah, it was 8 rounds of Swiss, 166 players, which is decent. It's a little bit smaller than Indy in 2024. But I think this is like pretty average number. Now, it's obviously we had 400 at Austin, but that one's a little bit different. I think that one's an outlier because it was nationals. So I think that's why we hit the 400 mark. I expect them to be about 160, 200, depending on the city. But to be fair, the main event was really, really small. It was only 900 people. So it's understandable that the side event was only 166. But it's still pretty good. Compare 166 for a retro format compared to 900 for the main event. I think we did pretty well. And also, not many people came from out of town. Almost everyone I talked to, everyone I met was from North California. So, yeah, not many people flew in for this event. So, let's start off. One more thing I want to mention. This event ran a lot smoother than the other the 4 other Time Wizard events I went to. Shout out to the judge. I can't remember his name, but he came up to me and he heard my story about how I showed up late for the round in Austin, and this time they did a good job. They made sure the pairings, if your name was S through Z, was always on that side. So yeah, no, I don't think anyone had that issue this time. So the only complaint I still have is we need our own timer. I know we can use our phones as well, but I just wish we could at least get our own timer. That's the only complaint. So now let's go over the top 8 deck list. So remember, 8 rounds of Swiss, got the top 8, 166 players. So first after Swiss was Ruben Santana playing Hero Frogs. He went 8-0 and lost in top 8 to Denny Yu, the eventual winner, former YCS champion. I've known Denny for a few years. Great player. He actually helped me build a deck that I topped an ARG with, so shout out to him. Yeah, you see the power of Hero Frogs. I mean, he lost a frog mirror match, so who knows? And he actually beat Denny in Swiss, but then Denny beat him in top 8, so, could have gone either way. Maybe he would have won with Hero Frogs. Anyways, in second place is Anthony Desai Pizza. Some of you guys know with Black Wings. I got his deck profile on the channel. Great player. This is like his 3rd in real life top with 3 different decks. I know he topped Orlando with Norlaris. He and I played at that event. So, yeah, he's a good player. Glad to see him continue to perform well. And then third is Luke Feeney on Black Wings. So, Anthony, Ruben, and Luke all lost in top 8. Now, Luke, I don't know him, but I've heard things about him. Apparently, he's a great player from Philly. He's friends with Frazier and everyone else from that area. So, I think he topped back-to-back events. We'll see if he can continue doing well at these Time Wizards and RBT tournaments. So fourth was Cairo King on Black Wings. I know I've heard of him. I actually think I've played him once in online RBT. A true hero. Honestly, when I saw the top 8, I will say that this was a stacked top 8, and I'll go over this at the end. But yeah, I told everyone I thought he was going to win just because he puts in the time. I feel he plays a lot online, so I thought if I had to bet on someone, I was going to bet on him. But he fell short in top 4 to Denny, and Denny actually Cairo beat Denny in the Swiss rounds, and Denny came back and beat him. But no shame losing to Denny. I mean, he's a great player. Anyways, next up is 5th place Ernie Aranda on Bayou Turbo, former Ultimate Time Wizard winner. He was this close from being the first 2-time Ultimate Time Wizard. There's people who won. Well, actually, only Eric Shen has won an RBT and an Ultimate Time Wizard. But no one's won 2 of each of those yet. We'll see. He was this close. But congrats to him. He lost in top 8. And next up is Mark Anthony Garzio. I got his deck. I got Ernie's deck profile also on the channel. And I got Mark Garzia Zombie 2nd place. Made it all the way to the finals. I got his deck profile on the channel. Pretty interesting. I did not expect to see zombies make it all the way to the finals. But I didn't know Mark. I met him at this event. But he's been playing. I don't know when he stopped playing, but he's got amazing credentials. I mean, he's been to Worlds. He got 2nd place at Nationals and at a YCS. I mean, it's not surprising. Like I said, this was a stacked top 8. And then Ricky Ricketts got 3rd place with Bayou Turbo, and he's friends with Denny. He's got a few tops. He topped RBT, I think, one of them recently. He got top 4. So, yeah, and then 8th. But Ricky went X2 in Swiss, and Denny got 8th with X2 record and ended up winning the whole thing. Again, he's a former YCS champion. I've known him for years, and yeah, not surprised to see him win again. But yeah, stacked top 8, all 8 great players. And yeah, let's look at the breakdown. So 3 Black Wings, no surprise there. 2 Vayu, no surprise there. 2 Frog decks. This is the format. It's a 3-deck format, and then occasionally you'll see one random deck sneak in their zombie. Sometimes 2, you get double Amaryllis. This is just the format. I'm pretty much convinced now these are the 3 best decks. Black Wings, Frogs, Vayu. And there's other decks that can compete, but usually you see 1 or 2 of them sneak in there. All right. So now that's it for the top 8s, and now we'll go over the tournament report, and then I'll do the deck profile. Not deck profile. I'm just gonna go over my deck list. I took a screenshot. So I actually wasn't planning to go to Sacramento, but what happened to me in Austin, I really felt like I didn't get a chance to lose. I kind of wanted to go and try and redeem myself, but I did not do well at this event. One of the worst performances I've had in Ultimate Time Wizard so far. But round 1, I get paired against Efren. Shout out to him from North Cal. He was playing Black Wings. I lost a die roll. So game 1, I don't know. I think this was his first big event. I don't remember what he said, but he was pretty nervous. Like game 1, he oppressioned my Vayu, and he knows he messed up. He said it was a rookie mistake, and it was. But I ended up winning. I went return, and he still had to face up oppression. And it was game if he oppressed my return, and he pressed it, and then I MST'd and I won. But I don't remember game 2 well. I think my hand was pretty mediocre game 2, and yeah, and I think he drew Whirlwind. I don't really remember the second game. But the third game, I'm not going to forget, because it was crazy. So I'm up on a lot of cards, basically. I have what did I have on the field? I have a Stardust Dragon, a My Body, an MST, and a D Prison set. And he goes for turn. He sets a monster and passes. So I go draw, summon Dark Grepher, pitch, basically Vayu Soroka, and I summon an Armed Wing. So he's like at 46. So Armed Wing, and Stardust is game. So I'm gonna, if I attack him with the Grepher, but if I don't attack him with the Grepher, it's not game. But I'm gonna go for it. And even crossed my mind, I'm thinking the only way this is not game is if he sided in a Dyna against me. But if he did side in a Dyna, I'll just negate it with Stardust. And surprise, surprise, it was a Dyna. So I attack with Grepher. I'm forced to negate with Stardust. And then attack him. He doesn't drop Gorge or anything. And then I go end phase Stardust. And he goes, no. He does it at the end of the battle phase. He crows my Stardust. And I was like, okay, whatever. Pass. And he goes, draw. Brain controls my Grepher. Doesn't use the effect. Normal summons Gale. Goes for Black Rose. My Body. So I still have the Armed Wing. D Prison Stardust. No, D Prison MST Armed Wing. He goes, drop Dark Arm. And then I just couldn't fight back from a Dark Arm. I was trying to draw out of it, but yeah, I lose, and yeah, I was upset. Losing round 1 it sucks, but sometimes it can be blessing in disguise. So some of you guys remember when I got second place at YCS Indy, I drew round 1 and I fought back all the way to the finals. And the YCS I did win 11 years ago, I lost round 1 and then won 15 straight. So it's not the end of the world to lose round 1, but it is deflating a lot of times. But yes, and then round 2, I played against Michael, playing Machina Turbo. I don't really remember much round 1. He opened pretty strong. Sorry, game 1, and he beat me, and then it's bad. So I lose round 1, and then round 2, you lose game 1 against Machina Turbo, which I feel is a very, very strong deck. And yeah, I just get cooked game 1, and I don't really remember this match. I just remember game 2, he didn't really draw well, and then the same thing game 3, and I got pretty aggressive. I don't really remember this match, but I did manage to pull off the backdoor 2-0 and beat him. And yeah, that was round 2. I won 2-1. And then round 3, I play against a Volcanic Cat deck. And this is a pretty just standard match. Like game 1, he just outgrinded me with Cat and like Airbellums and Powder Avarice, and my hand was pretty mid, and I just couldn't fight out of it. And then game 2, I win with Dark Arm. That's all I remember. I just dropped Dark Arm on him and won. And then game 3 was crazy. I remember my hand was like I just went summon Card Trooper and attacked him for 19, so he's at 61, and then he brain controlled my Card Trooper, and it hurt really bad. And I was thinking, because you'll see when I get to my deck profile, I decided to run Card Trooper instead of the third hamster, and I was thinking, oh man, this Card Trooper would have been the third hamster, I would have said it, and then he couldn't have really abused his brain control. But instead, he goes like, brain control my card trooper, summon Arabellum, attack me directly, get a card out of me. I had no back row. And I still fought out of it, but something that happened in game 3 that was interesting. So this is why I hate testing the day before the event. So I had my deck list filled out, and I was ready to play. I had brain control in my deck, and I was testing against Donnell and Javi in our hotel room, and I kept drawing brain control dead. And I was like, you know what? And Elfin. I was testing out Elfin. Shout out to my good friend Randy. He's telling me to play Elfin. And I kept drawing those 2 cards dead. And I was like, you know what? I had already turned in my deck list, but now you can actually go and you can change them. I think they changed it recently. And I took the Elfin and the brain control out for the 3rd Sirocco and Foolish. And what was funny was, I drew my Foolish and I had used everything game 3. I used all 3 values, Necro, and Plague. So I had nothing to Foolish. He went for a magical android. And if Foolish had been brain control, it would have been game. But you can make the argument, like, there was, like, I think of round 2 or round 4, like, the Foolish helped me out. So it's like, yeah, in that scenario, brain control would have won me the game. And I was, like, kicking myself, dang it. So I think this was just a time when I probably shouldn't play the day before. I don't know. But I was upset about that. But that was round 3. So I'm 1-2. I'm already basically out. You have to go X1. You have to go X1 or get in with a draw. If you go X2 early, you're not going to make top 8. The rest of the rounds, I just played just for the heck of it. I didn't really care. That was round 3 against Ricardo from North Cal. Michael was from, I think, North Cal as well. The guy who played round 2. But I did lose in the die roll against the Volcanic deck. Now, round 4, I lost the die roll against Alex playing Bayou. It was 2-0, but I could tell he didn't care. He was just kind of like, he was defeated, kind of same thing as me, and we were both out. He even told me, I'll give you the win, I just want to play. And I was like, all right, whatever. So round 5, I played against Black Wings against Wilson. And I remember just 2-0. I think he was kind of new to Edison. And then round 6, I played against Donnell D. Nasty. We were both X2. We were just playing. We were both out, but we kind of got paired against each other. And I posted a picture on Instagram. You guys want to follow me on Instagram at Legacy Salaya. This is my Instagram. And I actually won game 1 against Donnell, which is huge because Amaryllis is a tough matchup. And game 2, it got to the point where we were both really low. And I don't know if I would have won this game, but I kind of got messed up I got a wrong ruling at my local, so I thought if Thought Ruler attacks Amaryllis, I gain the life points first, and then he burns me for 800. That was the ruling they gave me at locals, and it was wrong. At the it's supposed to be I'm supposed to burn first, but like had I known that, I would not have made Thought Ruler. I would have went Dark End, send the Amaryllis, and probably made Thought Ruler and attack his face down monster, which I read was a Necrogarna. Now, unfortunately, see, this is the thing. I got paired against Donnell, and I actually helped him fill out his deck list, so I knew his entire deck. So I knew that the set monster could be Necrogarna. It's unfortunate, but yeah, it was Necrogarna. And then Donnell thought that the Thought Ruler would trigger first, but then he read Thought Ruler after and was like, "Oh no, this is Thought Ruler's mandatory." I didn't know Thought Ruler was mandatory. I thought it was optional. So, yeah, I would have to burn the 800 first, and I lost because of it. And then game 3, he just drew Insane, and I just drew, it's Amaryllis. That's a tough matchup. But then I'm like, 3-3, so not a good showing. And round 7 and 8, my opponents didn't even show up. So, yeah, that was my record for Sacramento. Not the best. I'm going to go over my deck and how I feel about Vayu Turbo. I still think it's one of the top 3 decks. And I don't know about this Dream Frog deck, Fishborg Frog deck. I don't have much experience playing with it or against it, so maybe that's the new best deck. Maybe not enough people are playing it. The one thing I will say is every time I play the Hero Frog deck, I feel like that deck can be inconsistent. And same thing with Blackwing. So maybe this Fishborg deck might come out like 1-2 Ultimate Time Wizards back-to-back, so we'll see. If more people pick it up, if it continues to do well, maybe that'll become the new best deck in Edison format. All right, now let's just go over the deck profile. So It's pretty standard. I ran, 21 monsters, 1 Armageddonite, 1 Gale, 3 Sirocco, 3 Value, this time 2 Caius, 1 Card Trooper, 1 Dark Arm, 3 Dark Refer, 1 Necro, 1 Plague, 2 Raikou, 2 Hamster. So I'm going to go over some of the differences that's not standard. 3 Greffer, 1 Arma, I've always been a fan of because I feel like in my opening hand, I'd rather have Greffer than Armageddonite. Armageddonite's better mid to late game, but Greffer's better in your opening hand, so that's why I've always been a fan of 3-1. Gale's solid. It's a good extender, so I've actually been messing around cutting it, but nah, I think you just need it sometimes. 3 Sirocco, I actually thought about running 2 Sirocco, 1 Elfin. Actually, at the Ultimate Time Wizard in Austin, I ran 2 Sirocco, no Elfin. I think you could get away. The reason I feel like I really want 3rd Sirocco is just for Black Wings, and sometimes in the Volume Mirror. That's why I kind of don't want to only run 2. Double Caius is fine. I think 2 is fine. That's kind of standard. Can I run 1? I think now, I used to be against Caius, but now with the Dream Frog or Fishborg Frog deck, I think you need Caius. The few times I played against Frogs, they do block you quick, so yeah. Card Trooper, card's okay. I was thinking about playing the 3 Hamsters, but I didn't go. So I've actually experimented with 3 Hamsters. So some people might notice I run 2 Hamster, 2 Raikou. The reason I do that is because I don't like drawing 2 Raikous. I'd rather open Hamster. I've tested 3 Hamster, 2 Raikou. I mean, yeah, you can draw them dead, but I'm willing to take the risk with those scenarios because I think Hamster's just so much better, especially with Caius. But I ran 2 at Austin as well. Now, some people will say you should run 2 Hamster, 3 Raikou, which is what most people do. I've seen almost everyone run that ratio, but like I said, I don't like drawing double Raikou, so that's why I go 2-2. So that's the monster card. Now the spells, it's standard. Allure, Burial, Foolish, Heavy. Well, Foolish is not standard. Heavy, MST, Rhoda, 3 Upstart. That's not standard either. But Foolish was Brain Control, and I took it out last minute and threw Foolish in there, and I don't know. Maybe it was a mistake. Like I said, I would have won that 3rd game had that Foolish been Brain Control. Upstart, I'm always going to run Upstart in almost every deck. It's just, I feel like the decks need the consistency. Every single deck. Frogs, Black Wings. I don't like the jars. Danny, you actually agree with me. I was shocked. Actually, no, I wasn't shocked because it's like he and I kind of see the game the same way. So I was not too surprised that he ran Upstart. Because I think he ran Upstart in all his decks in the past. Anyway, now let's get to the traps. 2 Bottomless, 2 Deep Prison, 1 Mirror Force, 1 Return, 2 Oppression, Solemn Judgment, and Trap Dushy. The only thing I probably missed was the Torrential Tribute. The reason with 3 Greffer, 2 Hamster, and 2 Raikou, I almost never wanted Torrential myself first turn. But I think, I don't know about Torrential. Yeah, you probably need it against Frogs, but I don't know. Maybe you could cut a Deep Prison or cut the Solemn Judgment out. I'm not going to cut out Oppression because to me, I've said this in a lot of videos. Oppression is either 2 or 0. I refuse to play 1. I don't think I'll ever play 1. All right, now let's go to the side deck. So this is something that I sided in 2 Pulling the Rug, 2 Needle Sealing, 2 My Body because I like it against Black Wings and against Hero Beat. And now that everyone is running 2 Hamsters in their value decks, I feel Nobleman is going to be popular. That's why I really like My Body because it stops Icarus, Torrential, Bottomless, Mirror Force, and Nobleman. And Black Wings have a hard time dealing with a set Hamster. So that's why I've always been a big fan of My Body. But some people will argue 1, but I feel like if with 1, I'm never going to see it. That's why I always play 2 My Body. 2 Pulling the Rug. I was on 3, but I feel like 3 can get a little too much. That's why I went down to 2. Now, I use Needle Sealing over Dyna because, I don't know, I don't think Dyna's a bad card, but I have a really tough time against Amarillo, so that's why I sided in 2 Needle Sealing. And do I regret not having Dyna? I don't know. I've never really liked Dyna. I always draw it too late. But I could put it back in there eventually. But I just need to test a little bit more. All right, Mind Control. Everyone sides Mind Control. 2 Dust for Black Wings. Everyone sides 2 Dust. 2 Deck Devs. This is for the Fishborg Frog deck. That's why that is still in my side deck. 1 DD Crow. I was surprised to see other people were only using 1. Because I kind of went with 1 DD Crow, 1 Compose for the Mirror. And I was surprised to see everyone else doing 1 DD Crow. Because I was doing 2 Compose, but last minute I decided to swap the second Compose for 1 Crow. All right, and then 2 Cyber Dragon because I wanted Cyber Dragon for Hero Beat and GBs. Those matchups can be tough at times, so yeah, that's why 2 Cyber Dragons there. I also signed him against Black Wings, going second. So extra deck is standard, nothing to explain there. Catastor, Arm, Black Rose, Silverwind, 2 Armwing, 2 Arbor Master, Brionic, Chimeritic, Colossal Darkin, Goyo Star, Star Ruler. So I've not seen anyone run 3 Armwing, but shout out to Cam, the man, Neil. I let him borrow my deck, but I put the brain control in there and like Dynas, because like I'm different than everyone else. My playstyle is different, so I gave him like basically my same deck list, but I put the brain control and 2 Dynas in there, and he played my deck in a pod, and he told me that he would have had game if he had the 3rd Armwing. So I don't know, but all the other valued lists I've seen have run 2 Armwing. The only person I saw run 3 Armwing. Have I seen anyone? The only one I can remember was Eric Shen running 3. Maybe there was someone else, but I remember he ran 3. But anyways, there's the end of the tournament report. I'm going to be attending RBET New York here in September, and obviously I'm planning to go to YCS Anaheim, YCS Orlando, and YCS Vegas that they just announced, which is going to be a 3v3. So we'll see what 3 formats they do. I hope they do GOAT, Edison. I think it's gonna be GOAT Edison for sure for Vegas. Vegas is in March. It's 7 months away. But that was one of the most fun tournaments I ever went to. So I'm looking forward to playing again. Now there's a rumor. I've heard rumors that they may replace Tengu format, but I don't know what format they're gonna replace it with. We'll just have to wait and see. But hope you guys enjoyed this video, and shout out to everyone who introduced themselves to me and in Sacramento. So I want to go over stories. So I bumped into Mark Garcia and Ricky Ricks and a few others from North Cal, and I was headed to the restroom, and they wanted me to do the intro that I do in all my videos for whenever it's a duel, and I had no idea who these guys were, and they're like, do the intro. I was kind of shy, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll do the intro. I did it, and lo and behold, these guys ended up getting 2nd and 3rd place. It's just funny how the world works sometimes. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.